All right, guys, we are now on the segment where we discuss what's going on in today's news, from something that's trivial to maybe something that's more serious. I'm calling to the carpet two of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta's very own, Rasheeda and Yandy. So, Rasheeda Frost and Yandy Smith, two ladies that have been on this franchise for a while. We know them. You hate some, you love some. You may not have supported one in one season. You may have loved more and more in the next. I know we know who they are. It's really unfortunate to see the crumble of their dynamic, quote unquote, relationship, whatever you actually want to give a title to it as. But these ladies are at odds right now. Without going into too much detail, because there's enough commentary channels right now and footage on their actual VH1 channel to break down the dissolving of their relationship. But each one has been in a relationship with a man that at some point has embarrassed them. Kirk Frost at some point gave life to a child out of wedlock with a different girl while still married to Rasheeda. Yandy Smith, according to a lot of reports in the streets and people in the clubs and DMs and stuff like that, her, I will say boyfriend because they're technically not married. Her boyfriend her boyfriend Mendices has not been the most faithful to her. This is what's been shown. Accountability to what actually happens with Mendices, that she may reportedly say that she did certain things that actually other women were a part of, that she was there when she actually wasn't there, taking up for him to preserve her own image or their image together. This is what the public feels. My thoughts in general is that both women are fighting for their relationships in their own way. Again, technically speaking, it hasn't been proven that Yandy and Mendices are married, but they're still fighting for their relationship. Giving her credit, back in the day when Mendices was going down and had to serve some time for doing some illegal activity, they were supposed to get married prior, but she wised up and recognized that if she associated their finances together, if she put her name and took on if she did all the things in paperwork and legalities, that they can garnish her wages, that they can come for her income, that they can come for her savings if she attached herself to a person that committed a certain crime. She didn't let anybody know that she wasn't truly married to him, which was a shocker to the world. Even her friends Juju and Kimbella were taken back. But looking back, that was a smart decision, right? Why would I associate what I got going? We gonna be in a better place if I keep us separate. When you come out, then we officially wed once everything subsided, right? I don't think people had an issue with the business side of it because that was a smart business move. I think people started to have an issue with trust because she didn't tell anybody and she lied. I don't think people would have frowned upon her had she come up off the top and been like, hey guys, I know I was supposed to get married to Mendices, but we have children and I can't risk not being able to feed my babies because I associate myself legally with him and he's away and he can't do only so much. I think everybody would have been like, you know what, girl? Very smart, very smart. But she played in people's faces like she was married, and then her friends were even taken back by it. And I think that's when more of the public support of Yandy started to fall off. That didn't make people hate her, but it was like, okay, girl, why would you lie about that? You know what I mean? And there's been a series of other people on the show that say that she hasn't always been so upfront, that she throws rocks and hides her hand and stuff like that. So that's been kind of the vibe.
I'm about to start watching Love and Hip Hop again because it's getting too good. Why did I just see a clip of Jessica White on Love and Hip Hop TikTok page talking to Yandy? She's crying, as y'all can see, trying to tell Yandy that she believes that Mendices, aka Yandy's husband, has been DMing her niece on Instagram. First, Yandy's sitting there. She's like, oh, what's going on? What's going on? Jessica started telling her, like, yeah, you know, my niece told me that they saw each other out at this club or bar. And then afterwards, he went and he DM'd her on IG. Why is Yandy so theatrical? She's like, oh, God, wipe your tears, honey. She telling her, oh, wipe your tears, honey. That was me. It's so dramatic that Yandy starts taking her hand and wiping Jessica's face. Y'all probably thought I was playing, but I'm not. That's Yandy hand right there. So Jessica's like, well, are you sure? She sent me the snapshots. That's what she calls them. She's like, I got the snapshots. And, you know, it looks like he was trying to reach out to her. And Yandy's like, oh, no, it's been me the whole time. So Yandy tells her, you know what? I have access to his DM. Let's pull it up. Y'all, she started moving them images so quick. I had to pause the screen to read the messages. But how I caught Miss Yandy in her lie is because she said that she wrote the niece and was like, oh, what's taking you so long? I've been waiting on you to reach out. And that is not what happened. The first message that got sent came from Indici's account. And Jessica kind of calls her on that and is like, you know, like, looks like he wrote first, and Yandy just doesn't really respond. And she's like, oh yeah, this is me. I'm messaging her back. You can clearly tell from the messages that it's not Yandy that's talking to the niece. Then Jessica didn't say nothing. And I've only watched maybe one season of Love and Hip Hop with her in it, and she seems very quiet, very demure. I'm about to start watching again because, girl, you should have checked that. You gonna let Yandy lie, but she said that she was showing her grace because she was like, she's already hurting so much. So Yandy tries to paint the girl out to be aggressive and thirsty over Mendici. She basically said that the girl came up super aggressive. She said that she was there that day too, somewhere in the back, and that she was asking Mendici, oh, do you know her? Like, what is this about? And that's how she started messaging her, even though we know she did not start messaging her. Clearly, it came from him. Yandy lied so quick, but if you could read body language, you could tell that she got a little shook up. But that PR kicked right in. Yandy, I'm going to grab your hand and I'm going to lean in close when I say this. We're not buying it. As she's getting ready to walk out, she telling Jessica like, yeah, this is what they want. People just want to see my marriage ruined. Why is it always everybody else wants to see their marriage ruined? I think your husband wants to see your marriage ruined because he wouldn't keep embarrassing you like this. And it's like now you're embarrassing yourself to save face for him, which has probably been going on for a while. Yandy is a Pisces though, and they could just live in a state of delusion. I mean, she lied so quick for that man and covered up the tracks so that it didn't look like her household was messy, even though you could clearly tell that it was messy. Is y'all watching this? What y'all think when y'all seen it? And why somebody in the comments gonna say Yandy a lie in a New York minute?
With Rasheeda Frost, I think the inception of people really not liking her is because singer K. Michelle was on the show and on as a cast member, and she experienced and detailed some physical abuse that she encountered at the hand of an ex, and it just so happened that that ex was then married to a friend of Rasheeda's. So K. Michelle dated Memphis Hits, who then, at the time, while K. Michelle was telling her story of how she was harmed by him, Memphis Hits was married to Toya. Toya was friends with Rasheeda. So Toya and Rasheeda being friends, Rasheeda took Toya's side in the way that she was saying, my friend's husband would never. My friend would never be married to a man that did that. I don't believe your story. I think you're lying. I think you're lying. To some, she was standing up for her friend and her union at the time because they've since then divorced and she's remarried. To the majority, she was discrediting a victim's story. And a lot of people did not like as she stood 10 toes down on the fact that she thought K. Michelle was lying.
He's not doing that because that's not something that he did to you.
Rasheeda, he did that to me. I had scars all on my leg, carpet burns from fighting. How would you feel if a towel was over your face, smothered? He needs to apologize. I have every text message when you tried to say you was. So if I was an evil chick, I would send that to a blog right now. I ain't done it. But if you keep on, I am. So you need to take your ass on down the street because you wasn't there. 3 years, my career was ruined because I could not talk. I don't have that no more. I don't care what nobody got to say about me because that's not. None of y'all was there. None of y'all. This bill is with me. I got my ass beat.
It has since then been proven in an episode of Marriage Boot Camp and other publications that Memphis Hits isn't the most gentle individual and that he does exhibit certain signs of aggression.
I want to do.
Calm down.
I ain't coming down.
Like you gotta
You don't tell me. Bye. Out of here.
You would think that after that footage came out, whatever year this episode came out, whatever things came out afterwards, that maybe she would take to the internet and be like, you know what, back in the day, y'all, I was writing for my friend and it blinded me from certain signs. I didn't see any of that behavior in front of me. I didn't see him do anything to his wife at the time. I didn't see any of that. So I was standing behind my friend and her husband. But since current footage has been released, it does prove that there is a high likelihood that K. Michelle, whether we get along or not, may not have been lying. And for that, I'm sorry for publicly discrediting your survivor story. I mean, that would have been a cool little easy, not cleanup, but something to show people, you know what, we're human. You stood on something, you got it wrong, it's all good. No, that never happened. So this is how people view each of them in the public court of opinion. They view Yandy as throwing rocks, hiding her hand, and not being so truthful. They view Rasheeda as someone that, I guess, defended an abuser, and has continued to be dumb by being so trusting in her husband, having a co-parenting relationship or any type of communication with his previous mistress and things like that. Okay? Now these ladies are at a point where, according to Yandy, she wasn't all buddy-buddy and friendly with Jasmine because of the betrayal that Jasmine allowed to happen and took place in and blah, 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 blah with Kirk Frost. So then the shoe was on the other foot. Yandy and Mendice's business was in the streets, and apparently Yandy believes Rasheeda caught wind of it in some way, shape, or form, but didn't do the same thing by bringing to her the information or taking up for her in the way that she would have wanted. The details, again, are more in that episode, so check it out. But regardless of how we got here, for those that have seen the viral episode and seen the argument and seen the fight, I wonder what your thoughts are, because ultimately I see this as two wounded women that are tired of being the butt of the joke. Rasheeda for her reasons, Yandy for her reasons. Both standing behind their man. Kirk Frost in this interview right here has detailed that he didn't get here overnight, that there were many reasons that led to his cheating. Doesn't justify it, but he detailed his side. Yandy and Mendice's have their reasons for where they are and how they are today as well. But I feel like more so than girl code or whatever people think isn't happening or is happening, I think these women are just looking to not look dumb. They don't want to be the one that plays themselves yet again. And that the anger that they're having, a lot of people are saying in the comments that they should be turning that back on their men. That according to certain people, Yandy has never taken this type of energy towards Mendice's. It's misdirected. Or Rasheeda never had this type of smoke for Jasmine and for Kirk, but she's having it for Yandy. You know what I mean? I'm just curious you guys' thoughts, if you're fans of the franchise or have even come across any of these viral clips. I feel like it's misdirected anger that, yes, certain things have happened, but the level of which mud is being slung and things are happening, I feel like it's reached a new low. And I think both of these women are better than this, but now it's them against each other, when in actuality, it's their men that have put them in these situations. Even if their men have turned it around and are good boyfriends or husbands or whatever now, the origin of the reason why people view these two ladies as X, Y, or Z is their men, for the most part. I don't feel like it's irreconcilable because, I don't know. I feel like there's room for them to heal in a year from now. Let bygones be bygones. I don't know. What do you guys see? Do you think that this friendship or dynamic or business partnership or whatever is doomed and they'll never ever be able to get past what they've said about each other? Or do you think that there's a world where they'll be able to be, you know, friendly again, or actually friends. Yeah. I do think Rasheeda seems a bit more irritable and agitated this season, more so than others. Again, I don't follow it specifically, but in the clips that I'm seeing, she just seems more on edge. I think she's just fed up with whatever narrative she feel like is being put out of her and her husband or herself, and she's not coming in to try and understand. And I feel like Yandy isn't necessarily coping to what's been revealed allegedly in the blogs about what she's done outside of her quote unquote marriage relationship, and it's causing for her to deflect because she don't really want to take up for what she allegedly has been doing outside of her relationship as well. So I don't know. I feel like both of the ladies, the anger is just a bit, you know, out of place. I feel like it's not really warranted for each other the way it should be for themselves and their spouse. You know what I mean? But, you know, I guess we'll see how it plays out. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on this current beef between Yandy Smith and Rasheeda Frost. Whose side are you on, if there is a side to be on? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Ooh, guys, full show for you today. Full show. It's a full show for you today, guys. Like, I'm excited for you guys. You guys are getting a really good show today. At least I think you are.